Hello and welcome back to another Doctor Who action figure review. In today's review I'm going to be taking a look at the stunning Jungles of Mechanus set, which was a Character Online exclusive. These were announced way back in August, nearly 3 months ago now, and they literally took the internet by storm. Everyone was really excited for the fact we finally get the resemblance of a movie Dalek in figure form. Now, unfortunately, these sets are no longer available. There was only about 5,000 available, and they have now unfortunately sold out. But it did prove that fans are still after Doctor Who action figures, and because of how fast these sets sold, and there's now promise of more character options exclusive figurines later down the line. So before I get into how beautiful this set really is, we're going to first take a look at the packaging. Taking a look at the packaging, it is rather similar to the History of the Daleks box sets, however it is much larger this time around, as the Daleks are positioned in a very different way, making it more like a bespoke collector's item. On the front, instead of the limited edition foil sticker that you get with the B&M figures, this one has a printed sticker on the box that says it's a character options exclusive. On the side you have the TARDIS, and on the back you have information about the story of the chase, as well as a brief history about the props and the reasons why they were used in that story, as well as some publicity images of the products. And again, as always, you get this lovely backdrop that has been beautifully rendered and colorized here that represents the jungles of Mechanus. Unfortunately, this is not correct of what the planet looked like, as most of the renditions here are taken from Zeta Minor, which was from the story The Planet of Evil. It is a beautiful backdrop nonetheless. Moving on to the side, you have the TARDIS in the backdrop as well, which is again lovely to have. And then dotted around the backdrop, you have several Easter eggs from different Doctor Who stories. You have some of the tubs that were used in Planet of Evil, as well as a big red button, and I don't know what story it's from. I think I was told this was also from the Planet of Evil, but I have not seen that story in a very long time. You also have some Dalek text on the floor, which is also lovely. And then if you move the TARDIS out of the way, you also find one of the Dalek bombs from Planet of the Daleks. And a non-Doctor Who Easter egg here is actually a teleport bracelet from Blake 7, as Al Jawar is a massive fan of Blake 7. So, going into the reason why this set is actually really exciting to have is the fact that these Daleks are technically movie Daleks from the first Peter Cushing film. Unfortunately, the licensing for the two Dalek films is under a separate license to the actual TV series. Now, what makes this set so interesting is the fact that two Dalek props from the first film actually appeared in the chase. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment, but they do appear in the jungles with the Daleks from the TV series. The BBC basically borrowed the prop as they only had a few Daleks at this period of time, so they wanted to bulk it out more to make it look like there was more going throughout the menacing jungle. We've technically had a similar version of this Dalek released before, but with a smaller base and the smaller dome lights, and this is technically again accurate as they did appear in the Dalek Time Machine as Dalek Guards, and this was represented as a sound effects Dalek called the Chase Guard that was released way back in 2014. So this is the reason why character options were allowed to do them, because without that we wouldn't be seeing these today, and I'm glad we have, because we now finally have something very interesting to put on the shelf. Taking a look at the Daleks themselves, they are honestly absolutely fantastic. I mean, my god, look at them. They really do look like they've just been pulled out of time from the movies themselves. Jungles of Mechanus themselves. And the colours are very vibrant and in your face in a good way, and they really do look like they've just been pulled out of a Dalek annual from the 1960s. There is a bit of new tooling on these Daleks, as this variant has the new improved dome lights. This is of course what they look like in the show as well as the movies, and it's really lovely to see this. I mean, they could have easily just turned around and used the dome lights from the Supreme Dalek from Planet of the Daleks, but I don't think it would have worked here. So it's really nice that we have this brand new tooling for these Daleks, as there isn't really any reuse value for these unless they re-release these Daleks at a later date. But I must admit, it is a very good improvement, and I'm so glad that they've done this. The dome and the pivot section of the eye stalk have been painted in a metallic blue, and in certain lighting it can come across as purple. This is very nice and is very accurate to what was seen on the screen. It maybe was possibly a bit darker compared to various customizers out there who claim so, but I do think it is a very nice touch. The eye stalk itself is the long 60s version, which is rather long and accurate towards the figure, and has the white iris, which is also accurate to the film. The paint here is very nice and crisp. And then moving down to the next section, all the pivots have been painted silver, as well as the neck rings, and the grating on the next section has all been painted in black, which is all very nice, and there's barely any paint bleeds on this figure. Moving down to the midsection, you've got that lovely bluish silver going on with the gold. That really stands out, and it's very nice that they've done this instead of just having a straight up silver, because it probably wouldn't have stood out more. And to be fair, the Daleks in the film weren't straight up silver, and there was sort of a very, very light blue within the silver, which is a very nice addition to detail. Taking a look at the weapons, the gun and ball joint have been painted in a flat silver, but then taking a look at the plunger, for some reason they have painted the arm the same sort of silver that's been painted on the body of the Dalek. However, going up to the end with the section connected to the plunger, it's been painted in a flat silver. It's really weird that the fact that they've painted the ball joint the same colour and then carried on that sort of paint up the arm. I don't know why they've done this, but it's there now, so we'll have to deal with it. Moving down to the skirt section, we get that same bluish silver that we get on the rest of the Dalek's body, and the blue on the hemispheres is the same metallic blue that was used on the dome, which is very nice. No paint bleeds can be seen for whatsoever on mine, and they're just very nicely done. And then moving down to the base, you get it's all been casted in this lovely baby blue colour, which is all really nice. This whole figure just screams nostalgia, and it's very nice to have something for the fans who have grown up with the Dalek movies and the comics, to have something that represents their childhood. So taking a look at articulation, the dome can do a full 360, the eye stalk can pivot up and down, the gun stick and the plunger can also move around on their ball joints, and the Dalek has 3 wheels on the bottom that can make it move around. Comparing this to the sound effects chase guard Dalek, that is rarer than hen's teeth. You can tell that the paintwork has got more of a metallic sheen to it compared to the new Daleks that have come out, as this is supposed to be the exact same Dalek. The only other difference is the fact it's got a smaller base and the smaller dome lights. Back then, we actually thought this is probably the only chance we were going to ever own something that resembled a Peter Cushing movie Dalek. And finally, we do have something that does sort of beat this Dalek and pushes it into the corner. But overall, it is very nice to have the chase guard standing next to the Jungle's Mechanus Daleks, as they do make out to be a very nice little army. So, overall, I think this is a fantastic set to get. Unfortunately, they are now out of stock, so you can't get these on the Character Options site, and there are no plans to restock these at all. If you want to get these, unfortunately, you'll have to try and track them down on eBay for a ludicrous amount of money, but overall, if you are trying to do that, then maybe go on there. I am still surprised that we actually got these Daleks at all. This is something I thought would never happen, and I know fans out there are hoping maybe in the future we'll get the Supreme and Red Dalek from that same movie, but unfortunately, like I said, it is a separate license, so I don't think we'll be seeing those Daleks anytime soon. But this is something that I think is a very good piece to have in your collection. I'm still shocked about the fact that we have this. We have been spoiled so much this year with the B&M figures as well as these on top. So that was pretty much the review. My next review will be on the new B&M exclusives that have just come out. And yeah, so goodbye for now and see you again soon.